Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Good Deeds. This is Dr. Renee Sunday. I am the platform builder. I know it's been one of those days, right? But I always say we have to be mindful of what our perspective of a thing. Because what we deem as a good thing may not be good in everybody's eyesight, right? But what we have to do is make sure that we respond in a good way, right? I know things go on in life that we don't understand. Things go on with traffic, okay? Things may not go right in our families or in our job or even our purpose. But, I always have learned in my life, you got to have A, B, and C, and some kind of D, E, and F plan, right? You have to do that. But, good deeds, good deeds. Things happen good every second of the day. And we have to make sure that we have the right perspective. If something doesn't work right, make sure we learn from that and go forward. The key is, and I'm going to say it at least twice in this broadcast, we have to don't stop. We have to get it, right? And I am Dr. Renee Sunday. I am the platform builder. So what I do is I help people identify their purpose if they're not aware. And then we build a platform to be seen, be heard, and guess what? Get paid. That's it. And one of the legs we have here is the radio show podcast that you're on. We want to, first of all, just thank you that you are supporting us. Thank you. We're on iTunes, we're on YouTube, our website, of course, and all the social media platforms. And we want to thank you for taking the time to just listen and also, of course, and believing in us. And we believe in you as well, right? We just love it. But let's get to our question because we have a powerhouse with us this afternoon, morning, wherever you are. It's the question that was sent in. And a lot of times if you're new to the broadcast, sometimes I get some personal things. Sometimes I get things that make you like, y'all remember, I'll send you a holler that make you say, But one thing people know is I am going to be authentic. I'm going to be consistent in what I have to say. And, also I'm going to show compassion and love. Amen? Right. So the question of the day is Dr. Renee. And again, if my team hands it to me right now. And we do that because we want to be authentic. We want you to realize that we didn't pre-rehearse this, right? So the question, I'm always paraphrasing. When I read it, I'm reading it, and then I'm putting it into simpler words that we all can relate to. The question is, Dr. Renee, with all the different businesses that you have, tell us a little bit about the word evolving. That's the word I'm going to use. And they say, actually, how do you scale? How do you actually go from one aspect to another? Well, that's a great question. I have been in, and we'll keep it brief because I always call the person that will actually have a deeper conversation. But the thing that I do is I listen to other people. Let me say that first. But I am a visionary, and I am part of the fivefold ministry as well. So my faith is always, first, foremost in my life. But I listen to my team. I listen to others. I have mentors and coaches, yes, and, I truly believe in those. But I actually make sure I discuss things. I love doing masterminds and VIP days and stuff like that. Me being a part of it, me doing them myself. But the thing is, I like to sit down and what we call it is, some people call it brain dumping, and if you're writing a book, some other people call it brain mapping and brain dumping, that kind of thing. But I usually try to get it all out. And by the word, it says, get out, make it plain, right? So we actually do that, and then we actually have strategic planning behind a situation. And, we do our due diligence, and then we make it happen. I mean, it's a strategy in everything that you do. You have to stay on the top of things. And I love talking to the millennials because they keep us on the cutting edge of things, right? All the different, Snapchat and all these things that they are on. I love to, I told you the last broadcast, I learned a new word for text. I don't know, IDK. So these young people, they are amazing. But anyway, that's just it in a nutshell. You have to keep Just like I am, I'm a board-certified anesthesiologist. We have to do our continued education in order to stay certified and take the exam. So the same thing we have to do in our businesses or the things that we're doing for our passions and purpose. We have to continue to learn, be a forever learner, always read. And now we have reading right on our fingertips. And we don't have to go to the library. We can actually check out a book, if you want to call it that, digitally now. But you can actually Google anything, you can Yahoo anything, and YouTube anything, But so we actually have a lot of access, and we need to make sure we access it, and then we actually need to learn it, and we need to implement it. That's what a lot of people need help with the implementing. And that's what we have to do is help people in that area. Because everybody has an idea, but you actually have to make it actually implemented. Then here comes the income, right? All right. Y'all know I can go in, but we got a beautiful guest here today, and it's something dear to my heart that she's an expert in. We have Destini Copp here. She's a strategic online course expert. I love it. She helps coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs create and, see, that's the key, and market a scalable online course through support groups and visual step-by-step online training. I see you got it right there. Okay, she creates templates, step-by-step process and guides, how-to videos, systems, and online training courses. Guess what? To help you get your revenue-generating course developed. So I got to say that one more time. Get your revenue-generating course developed and launched into the marketplace. Now that's just something you got to write down right there. Her professional experience includes the management. Now hold your seat now of a $700 million product portfolio. I didn't want to miss, okay? And leading an organization of 1,000 remote employees. She has worked in the online education industry, guess what, over 13 years, developing and launching several, and more to come of online courses. I'm just so super excited because this is something dear to my heart, and so I'm so glad that we'll be in the midst of her and to be able to hear some great information that we can actually put into practice in our own business. We want to welcome none other than Destini Copp to Good Deeds. Are you there?
I am here. Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Dr. Sunday. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I love your energy. So this is going to be power-packed, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I think, you mentioned that you are passionate about, continual learning. And, oh, my gosh, I just about come out of my seat because that is definitely what I'm passionate about also.
Wow. See, my team, they set me up all the time. But I love it. Well, let's talk a little bit more, Destini. First of all, I have to say this before I forget, I really, really love how you spell your name. That is just so powerful. I love it.
Well, that was from my parents, but I will tell you that a lot of people, when they see with the I at the end instead of a Y, they don't know how to pronounce it. But, I'm used to it, and I've been living with it all these years. So, I can just tell them. When I tell somebody, I just say, you're my destiny, except an I at the end instead of a Y.
Oh, I love it. Well, Destini, tell us a little bit because, this conversation can go really deep. And just tell us what, with digital world that we have out there now, tell us why it's important for us to grasp this, as you help coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, and the like, to have an idea that we need to actually get into this and have a strategic online course as well.
Sure. I can definitely go into detail about that. So the thing is, all of us have something in us that we can teach, right? So I don't care if you're just a stay-at-home mom or, you're retired or, who you are. there is something that is in you that you have the power within you to teach. And I'll just talk about some of the people that I worked with or have worked with in the past. Like, for instance, one of my clients has been knitting for many, many, many years. And she was getting people that came to her and said, can you teach me how to do that? Well, teaching people one-on-one, sitting with them just wasn't scalable for her. So that's when she turned to an online course to showcase her knitting. Another example would be another person that I'm working with. She lives in Italy, and she's, went over there and kind of, started a new life there. So her course is basically, targeting people who want to live the simple life in Italy. And, she has a very wide, a base of audience and people that she's marketing that course to. So the reality is, there's probably something out there that every single one of us could teach somebody else to do, and and also monetize it. Make money from doing that, so you can get paid for your expertise.
Now, I just love that, because you said that all of us, and I love that all of us have something to teach, and then not just teach that, but we need to actually monetize it as well.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we all have to pay our bills, right?
I love it. Well, Destini, let me ask you this, because you have you're the expert in this, and you actually, you have the how-to, the templates and things like that. But how can, you're saying all of us can do this, but how can we actually, and of course we have to contact you to get our individual information, but how is this in this world in 2018, 2019, and even going further, how is this going to actually play a part? Because now we don't, like I said in the intro, we don't go to the library as much as we used to because we have everything in our hands. But what's your perspective on that, or where we're moving to in regards of just education in general?
So the online education industry is, a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, it's continually growing, and people are always looking for ways to improve themselves. You mentioned, right, there's a lot of information out there on the internet that they can go get, but a lot of times what people are really looking for is a structured process and how to, and correct information, because some of the information out there on the internet might not be, up to date or correct. So in the online courses, that's what people are looking for. How can you save them time so they're not, searching everywhere and anywhere for the information, save them time, help them improve. Basically they're wanting to learn something. They're at point A, which is their undesirable state, and using the knitting course as an example, they don't know how to knit, to point B, where they want to learn the basics of knitting, and they want to know how to knit an Afghan. So they're getting from point A to point B, and that's how you can help them get there with an online course.
Now, you just led me right on into my next question. You're just a wonderful Destini. In regards of, because I think, we have the idea, but what you just said, we've taken, the people that's in the course from a point of A to B. I know you do this so wonderfully in your market and of course your clients as well. Is that pretty difficult for people to actually, because we can, one thing, like when Mom used to teach us how to cook and teach us different things of how to just be a lady, or even actually when we got into the marketplace of career. A lot of people can tell you, but it's hard when it comes to putting it on paper and being able to explain it to somebody else.
Yeah. I can definitely go into that. So I have a very structured step-by-step process of how you build an online course. In the first step, I go into details of validating your course idea, which means talking to ideal customers. So let's just say you're wanting to teach a course on knitting. I walk you through the process of how you go out and interview your ideal customers to validate your course idea. So once you've validated your course idea, you've developed kind of your unique selling position, if you would, my next step in that process is creating your outline for your course. And it goes back to what you said, Dr. Sunday, at the beginning of this show, where you talked about, kind of the brainstorming process. So what I teach folks in creating their outline for their online course is first you just brainstorm. You throw everything on the piece of paper or wherever you're doing your brainstorming that you think needs to be included in your online course. Every single element that you think you need to teach your future student. The next step of that process, I teach them to do the mind mapping. So the mind mapping takes all of those brainstorming ideas and puts them in a structured step-by-step process for their student. And I like to use mind mapping software. I've had many of my students that just use good old pen and colored a paper and colored pencils to do this. But essentially it's the same thing that you mentioned at the beginning of the show. It's, taking all of that you've brainstormed about and mapping it out so it's in a very structured step-by-step process, because that's how you teach. You teach people through a system that you've created or a step-by-step process. That's the kind of mark of an excellent teacher.
I love it. It just goes right hand in hand. And another thing that I have noticed, being in the medical field, we've had to do that, continuing education. But what I kind of have noticed, and may have been there, and I just wasn't aware, that every discipline, just like you said, knitting, even the accounting, the real estate industry, even in politics, of course, in the medical field, as I said, but even lawyers, almost every industry is really getting into the online way of teaching. And I have to say this, even I found out that a lot of parts of the nursing school is online now, and Lord, and it's telling how old I am, to be honest, because I remember that we couldn't do any of that type of stuff on the computer. So in a way, it's a great thing because it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Most of us, and probably I can say a high percentage, have internet or have a smartphone that they can have access to the internet. So I think it's a great thing. I have to do my plug there, that it's actually helping people become aware and educated in areas they couldn't have exposure to. So it's a great thing to have.
Absolutely. I would be hard-pressed to find something that you couldn't teach online. To your point, I've worked in the higher education industry. I'm also a university professor, and I've been an administrator for many years also. We had nurse practitioner programs that were taught online. To your point, you can teach almost anything online. And the other thing that I want to mention is that when you're teaching online, you can reach a wide audience. I have students in my classes that are, across the world, in Europe, in London, Australia, India, Africa. There's so many people out there that is hungry for the information that you want to share with them. And that is something to keep in mind. One of my clients does sales training. So he is in a situation where he does face-to-face sales training, where he'll go to a hotel and, his clients will send in their employees to do the sales training. Well, when he brings this sales training course online, he's not limited by those geographical restrictions. He's able to sell his services to a wider audience. So that's another thing, to your point, that I just wanted to bring up.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because many times, being in the medical field, again, I have to draw from what I know. It was very difficult for me, and I just said, ladies and gentlemen, Destini, because the model when I came in the quote-unquote coaching arena, if you want to say that, I didn't want to be called a coach. So anyway, you guys, you know my story. My niece actually, she was 12 years old at that time, named me the platform builder because I helped build people, and then I helped them build, the platform that they want to be seen, be heard, and get paid. But the point that what helps out with this as well, because right now in certain industries, this is the cutting edge. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever industry you're in, you actually need to jump on this. Because Destiny is actually, I just love it that she said template, step-by-step process, guides, how-to videos. And that's the way, give me a template, I can do it, okay? But the thing about it is we have to go to the expert that actually know how to do this. And I have to bring this out, and I brought your bio back up, that you said the powerful words that we love to hear is how to get your revenue generating and launch it into the marketplace. Because talk to us about that, because a lot of times our backbone gets, lack of a better word, get hurt, I guess. But I guess that's why you have that piece in there that you do the market, you evaluate people and survey people, because we have a lot of things that we could teach, but really will it actually give us that revenue generating, which we really, truly, we need to. Like you said, we have to pay our bills.
Right. Yeah, so that's a really good point that you're bringing up. So, it's one thing to actually build the course, which, can be difficult for some because there's some nuances in there that they might not be familiar with. But once you build the course, how do you get your message out in the marketplace? So, I always teach folks or try, if they can, to try to grow their audience organically. So in order to, generate revenue, you need to have an audience, right, to sell to. So what that entails for most of us is creating a website. It doesn't have to be an extensive website. It can be a very basic website where you have, information about you, information about your experiences. But most importantly, what you need to have out there is a lead magnet. So what a lead magnet is, this is something that your audience would find extremely valuable, that they're, biting at the bit for. It gives them a quick win that they would exchange their email address for. So this is something that you can direct folks to from your social media accounts to your website when they see the lead magnet, or, it could be a cheat sheet, a workbook, an ebook, whatever you want to give away for free, you can give it to them, and in exchange for that, you get their email. And that's one way to build your audience organically. Some other ways that some of my clients are finding very successful for them is opening up a private Facebook group for their target customer. It could be a LinkedIn group or a Facebook group, but Facebook seems to be extremely, there's a lot of audience on Facebook, and a lot of people like it. Plus, it's used across the world. Some people in some of the other countries, when you talk about Facebook, they think it's the internet, so they don't even they think Facebook is basically everything that's out there. But if you open up a private Facebook group, a free private Facebook group, this is an audience that you can work with to build that know, like, and trust factor. Because a lot of times people aren't going to go out there and spend $300 on a course, or $199 on a course, or $500, or whatever your course costs, unless they know, like, and trust you. And it takes time to kind of build that relationship. So those are just some tips on how to grow your audience. And then once you have an audience that you can sell to, you can market your course in your Facebook group. You can market it to your email list. And then if you are at a point where you have the budget for advertising, Facebook ads and Instagram ads tend to work very well online. And that is a great way to, continue to grow your audience so you have a market to sell to and can make money off of your course.
Destiny, I was up here jumping out of my seat, actually, because so many people, clients that I've, had myself and people that I, when I'm out and about, a lot of people, we don't say mentor coaches, your girlfriend or whoever, your family member, whoever gave you advice, they miss that step. They miss that step and they jump right in there, for example, at putting something on Facebook or even doing an ad, and they don't even have given anything for free. So I think a lot of people say, Facebook ads don't work. Well, they don't work if you haven't, you have to have something to leverage. And I'm so glad. It seems like it's a turn now in coaching and mentor and of course, the things that I do as well, because we weren't taught that. And I'm so glad that people now are teaching that, build a list, build a relationship, and then someone will actually want to buy something from it. Because I think coming from the medical field, and I have to bring that back out again, most of our things that we purchase are kind of a nice price. I'll just put it that way. Because of our training, I think my anesthesia board was over $1,000 that I can remember. I'm recertified now. But so it's somewhat easier that I've noticed talking to other nurses and stuff like that to actually jump in without even knowing the person. Because, but what I've noticed with the Facebook, especially with Facebook and the social media, so popular nowadays, Destiny, that people not going, they're not going to buy anything from you if they don't trust you or feel that you actually can help them. What I think the little acronym is, I can't remember, but it stands for what is it in for? What is it in for them? What are they going to get out of it? It's a little acronym. I can't remember it now, but Destiny. But people want to know what results and what transformations they're going to have. And we need to keep that in mind when we do our products and services, meaning free or not free. We need to keep that in mind. What's your take on that, Destiny? Because I think that piece was missed a lot in the people that was instructing the early people out here, consultants and coaches and even entrepreneurs.
So that's another good point. It's something, I'm a college marketing professor also, so this is something that's near and dear to my heart is, you can't just go out there and post on Instagram or post on Facebook or do an ad on Instagram, do an ad on Facebook and just say basically buy this course. It's just not going to work. So the best way to approach that is if you need to build your audience above and beyond what you've done organically is to post an ad on Facebook that maybe directs your future customers to a 5-day challenge. That's one option. You could direct your future customers to another opt-in, maybe an ebook that's covering your topic. That's another way that they can get to know you. But you need to provide value and show that show your future customer, wow, she really knows what he's talking about. Wow, I can't believe he's given this away for free. If he's given this away for free, his paid course must be phenomenal. And that is often missed in the marketing funnel.
Yes, and yes. yes. Oh, that's amazing. But that's actually tell us, because you said you work with so many people, even coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, and even the knitting. We have to throw that in because I love knitting and doing things, making things. Where do you see that we're going from here? Especially, I can look at my niece. She's in graduate school. And those millennials, bless their heart, they read a book on their small cell phone. I'm at the era I still want to turn my pages, but I do have a Kindle. Where do you think we're going with the online education? I said that a little bit earlier, but the reason I want to bring that back a little bit because to let the audience know, no matter what the discipline, especially here in Atlanta, it's big film industry. There's a lot of hair and makeup, and it's amazing how people want to come to Atlanta for film production, for TV, radio, and also for makeup and hair and just clothing, and stuff like that. So I think, in my opinion, I wanted to hear from the expert, this is a win-win situation for the people buying your course and also for you as well.
Right. So, kind of where the online education market is going, I would say that for the millennials coming up, and I have an 18-year-old, I'm in Atlanta also, I have an 18-year-old that is going to Georgia Tech. He actually starts in a week or so. And he took a lot of his high school courses. Some of them were the courses that he took for college, but he took them in high school. He took them online. And this is through the public school system here in Atlanta. So the millennials coming up and even the generation below them, they are used to online classes. In fact, in a lot of cases, they prefer them over the face-to-face platforms, over the face-to-face classes, because they like to do it on their own time and when they want. So the future of the online education industry, the future looks really, really good. The only thing that I would say, and it's something that I coach my clients on, the online course market is extremely saturated. So there's a ton of courses out there on Instagram, right? There's a ton of courses out there how to market on LinkedIn. There's a lot of courses out there on a particular topic, which is good in the fact that it demonstrates demand for that particular topic. But what it means for somebody who's creating an online course is you need to make sure you're differentiating yourself. And so, you're defining what is my unique selling position. What am I bringing to the market with my online course that others are not? So it's kind of twofold, and I hope I'm answering your question here. I think the online course market is just going to continue to rise and explode, but at the same time, it's also getting saturated. There's a lot of courses out there on specific topics, so you need to make sure that you're differentiating yourself. And quite frankly, the online, the online businesses, there's a lot of them out there too. So it's the same thing for that. You need to make sure as an online entrepreneur that you're differentiating yourself in the marketplace.
Yes, I totally understand. But Destiny, this time goes by so quickly here. Please, if anything that we missed that you wanted to make sure we pay attention to, please share that. And then also let us know how we can contact you and how we can support you on social media as well.
Oh, well, thank you so much for doing that. One of the things I did want to bring up is I do have a private Facebook group, and it's specifically designed for people who want to create their online course. So if you're looking at launching or creating an online course, feel free to check out it's a free private Facebook group. I run a free workshop in it every single week, and I change up the topics every single week. This month we're going to talk about online platforms for your online course. So there's a lot of different platforms out there where you can host your online course on. So we're going to be looking at all of those platforms and helping people figure out which is the best one for them. And the other workshop we're going to be running in August is how to market your online course, because when I did the survey and asked folks what do they want some help with on, that was another area that they wanted help, was basically marketing their online course. And the name of the Facebook group is called Course Creators Room.
Oh, I like that. Course Creator Room. I like that.
Right.
That is amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Well, we will make sure we share that to let everybody else know. Any other contact information?
Well, I have my website, which is my name spelled out with an I. So I always tell people that. And then I am on social media. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. And it's just, at Destini Copp, my name spelled out. It's the same for all of them.
Wow, that's great. First of all, Destiny, we want to thank you so much for being in your purpose. And then also thank you so much for taking time out to being a guest here at Good Deeds. And we just thank you. If you need us for anything, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Thank you so much. I was honored to be on your show, and I hope this was helpful to somebody in your audience. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunday.
You're very welcome. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, I know you got to get the replay and slow it down and get all this great information that she gave us. And also, please connect in that Facebook group because you got to get this information. I mean, I know so many people that, like she said, this could be anybody, knitting, beauty industry, whatever you do, and you can reach. Did you remember when Destiny said she's reaching people in Africa, all over the world, and you can actually do that. And she's going to show you from her expertise of the amazing things that she's done, how to do it, guess what, the right way. And I'm going to take her word, revenue generating. I just love that, okay? But, we'll have the replay up very soon. You can get it at iTunes. YouTube, they'll be on our website, of course, all the social media networks. If you want to be a guest on our show, let us know. If you actually want to advertise on our radio, TV, or magazine, you can do that. We also have a TV show based here in Atlanta. If you want to learn how to be a podcast or a radio show host or even a television or even if you want to start your own magazine, we can help you with that. I do business coaching, life coaching. I'm a grief counselor. And, we build platforms so we can actually, what you said with me, be seen, be heard, and guess what, get paid, right? Our website is www.reneesunday.com. Again, that's Renee, R-E-N-E-E, Sunday, S-U-N-D-A-Y. We also have a publishing company. Come on, get the book out, get the poetry out, get that play out, right? So we can take the pain away from somebody else, right? You can have the book and the online course and the radio show. Look at that. That's branding. Why? Increase your wide exposure and visibility and awareness of your brand. Also, we have a nonprofit organization called the Sun Program. And always remember to give back, right? And we help our loved ones, our brothers and sisters, right? For food, clothing, and shelter. And we also have education, mentorship, and a scholarship program. And we also have a Sun Program, S-U-N, where we help people, guess what, when they have loved ones in the intensive care unit. You got to make sure we help each other, right? And if you want to volunteer or if you want to actually donate to our nonprofit, all that same information on the same website, ReneeSunday.com. Please remember, remember, you do have a call and you do have a reason you were born. You're not a mistake. You're not a mistake. No matter what somebody said, no matter what you've been through, you're not a mistake. You got to do three things. You got to believe. You got to trust. Guess what? You got to walk it out. You got to don't stop. I know you're saying it with me. Don't stop. Get it. And you got to get your purpose, and you got to get your purpose now. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.